Hi, I'm Lisa Leiter. Welcome to Chicago Business Today. Each Friday between now and Election Day, I will sit down with Crain's columnist Greg Hinz for a political weekend review. We began our conversation this week with the budget, which Mayor Daley himself discussed at a meeting with Crain's editorial board on Wednesday. So, Greg, the mayor was in yesterday talking about his budget. What was your takeaway from that conversation?
My takeaway is that I understand why Rich Daley will be glad to give up the job. It would be very difficult to balance this budget given all the realities that are there, but what the mayor has done struck a lot of people as frankly a little bit lacking. There's a lot of borrowing, there's a lot of dipping into reserves, there's a lot of use of one-time monies that may get them through this budget, but the same problems are going to be there next year.
Yeah, no talk of the long term, and that obviously got the attention of some of the candidates running for his office. What was the reaction from some of those people?
The most interesting reaction I thought was from the people who are closest to Daley, Rahm Emanuel and Gary Chico, the mayor's former chief of staff. Both kind of went out of their way to say, well, you know, without personalizing it, that no, this doesn't do it. We got some problems we need to deal with, and we need to really go in and start over, and this budget doesn't do it. Some other people, notably Tom Dart, the sheriff, were pretty quiet. I haven't heard a peep out of Tom on this one. But this is clearly one of the major issues for the next mayor. The city is on the verge of being broke, particularly its pension plans. They got to do something.
Absolutely. Any specifics from Emanuel or Chico on how they would want to solve these problems?
Well, they're a little foggy when it comes to specifics and talk about you know, starting over and looking at everything thoroughly and whatever. But pensions are certainly going to have to be part of it. Everybody's against fraud and waste without getting specific about it. I think that some real big picture kinds of things are going to be necessary here. Really making a push for a casino, which would give us some more money. Maybe we need to do something like privatize the whole operation of garbage pickup, just turn it over to a private firm rather than doing it ourselves. But what's being done now just doesn't make it.
Okay, well, that election obviously further away, the Senate race. What's the latest there? What would you say is the highlight of the week?
Well, this continues to be the best, closest, most competitive Senate race Illinois has had in a long time, and this one, by all indications, all the polls, has gone right down to the finish. The real struggle is to define the issues for voters. I think Mr. Daleys increasingly is trying to make this into a race about the core underlying economic issues, a referendum on Barack Obama of sorts, who remains pretty popular in his home state, whereas Mr. Kirk keeps focusing on some stumbles Mr. Daleys has in his past. The Bright Start student loan program got some headlines this week. Broadway Bank and Judge Durango, we all know about that. And who wins kind of depends on which of those is in front of voters' minds as they actually push the button.
Sure. The negative ads, of course, a perennial thing. This year, are they worse than they have been in the past? What would you say?
I've seen nastier ads, although none of these are exactly a bouquet of roses. What's different this time is because we have a close contest, both of the national parties and all the related independent expenditure folks are all pulling all kinds of money in here. So there's Move On is now in for Mr. Daleys, I believe. Kyle Rove Group is helping.
You have Michelle Obama on the campaign trail.
Yeah, so I mean, you know, it's close. So we're getting the kind of attention we're not used to. I'm not sure I like it, and I think a lot of people would be happy to throw their TV through the window when it's over, but it's the way it is.
Absolutely. All right, well, we'll talk more next week. Thanks, Greg.
You're welcome.
And that's this edition of Chicago Business Today. Be sure to check out Greg's column and his blog at chicagobusiness.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend. We'll see you back here on Monday.